Good morning, good evening, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you might be doing. We wish to welcome you to the Silverlight Show. The Silverlight shines to illuminate that which lies hidden in darkness. For those of you tuning in today, we welcome you in. Bigfoot, Sasquatch, the Yeti, the Abominable Snowman, that big hairy creature we know and love so well. It ranges from campfire stories, documented incidents, and even to an SCP tale, SCP-1000. But the mystery is, how is this creature able to hide so well despite our satellites, our, infrared night vision goggles? You name it, we have a technical edge. So what's the reason we can't solve this mystery? First of all, there's a lot of disinformation. Just a little bit ago, like weeks ago, they had another sample of, quote, Yeti, end quote here. And just to be clear, the Yeti is, the Himalayan name for the abominable snowman. So I guess its true name. Whereas Sasquatch is the North American name. Not universally, different tribes had different languages and different appellations. Those are the ones that are most popularly known by. But Sasquatch and Bigfoot, I definitely like Sasquatch better, personally. And Yeti and the Abominable Snowman, I don't know about you, but if I have to yell, "Look out, it's the Abominable Snowman," it's probably already got you. Or say, "Look out, Yeti," you have a chance to react. Process the information, all that sort of stuff, done instantly. And I just like the word Yeti. These creatures are apparently over half the planet. But noticeably, they're in extremely remote areas. Back in 1910 or 1920, there were a bunch of gold farmers. Well, I don't know, they're after gold or silver, whatever it is. And I say farmers because I played way too many video games. Yeah, gold prospectors. Yes, I realized my mistake the second I said it. And they were in a lone cabin in the woods. And they got into a huge battle with Sasquatch. Well, they called it Bigfoot. These things were throwing giant rocks down, and these prospectors were firing their guns back. And in the morning, yeah, the rocks and everything were thrown around, but there was no sign of the Sasquatch anywhere. The Yeti, we just had a new sample of its hair. When we tested it, it's horsehair. It's almost always horsehair. But I'm willing to forgive that because the monasteries that it comes from have an incentive to convince people that they have contact with the Yeti. And oh, here's a sample of it. There's not that same culture in North America that there is that's been maintained for hundreds of years, if not longer. But is it possible for a large creature like the Yeti or Sasquatch, which the descriptions seem pretty similar, aside from the Yeti seems to be white, which is logical because it's trying to blend into a snowy area. So over time, natural selection would encourage its fur to become that color and camouflage in, whereas the North American Sasquatch, it is a more brown color, like a brown bear. It's good camouflage for a big creature going through the woods. And a brown bear is a good segue into what we're talking about. Every couple years, if not more frequently, one of these bears decides it's time to find out what humans taste like. And these things are a danger to society because, well, they've learned that the taste of human is something they can eat and, not throw up. Their chances are they're going to come back for more. And with children and teens doing stupid stuff, bears are good hunters. And we have such bad advice. Climb up a tree. Nope. The bear knows how to sit under a tree and wait. Oh, run downhill. Really? Do you think bears don't know how to run downhill? Run uphill. Really? You think bears don't know how to run uphill? We just get such terrible advice. But it takes specialized hunters and trackers when they can find the starting point of the bear, a very common species. They have an encyclopedic knowledge of all of its tendencies and patterns and stuff like that. Now, if they have trouble finding the bear after a day or two, how much harder would it be with a Sasquatch or a Yeti? You have a starting point for a creature that may or may not be human. And judging from the past million years at least, when we had humans, Denisovians, the one they keep calling the Hobbit. Sorry, its scientific name escapes me at the moment. There were multiple types of humans that had multiple ways to approach things. Neanderthals, they were not any less intelligent than we were. They're about the same. Their brain size is a little bit bigger in a lot of cases, but that's believed to be because our brains evolved to be slightly more efficient. Not sure I believe that because, like I said, if our brains were truly more efficient, we would see the cycle, which is mostly apes evolve bigger and bigger brain sizes, and that's we are in the great ape family, specifically Pan. So if we saw an increase in that brain size, we figure, okay, we're more advanced. But every other time scientists line it up and they say, oh yeah, bigger brain size means it's a more advanced animal. Better arms, better legs. The difference between Neanderthals and us, Neanderthals were huge. They were big, reinforced. They had brute strength. They could make spears, fire reinforced spears, stone tips, and those little stone tips are going to ruin your day if you get one in your arm. But there's one thing humans had, and we actually see it a whole lot: throwing. Now, almost all apes can throw to relatively good degrees of accuracy. But humans, watch an NFL game, watch a Major League Baseball game. You're going to see some throws that defy the imagination. And that's what we're designed to do. Whereas the Neanderthals were a frontal assault force, we were the ones that struck from behind cover. So our hunting strategy was safer than theirs. It looks like we intermixed at least part of our DNA, although a lot of it would be similar. And that's why Neanderthals went out. They didn't go out, they became part of us. Or what if they did stay independent? The land bridge between North America and Asia has appeared a few times. And the Denisovians also mixed with Neanderthals. It would be possible during one of the earlier glaciation periods for the land bridge to have led them over. And they would have had maybe 100,000 years, 200,000 years more than we had over here. And they're developed as a hunter species. So imagine having 100,000 years being more specialized as hunter-gatherers than us. Sure, we get these survival extras to go out and, oh, this is the green striped slugworm. It makes for good eating. We'll put this in our survival pack and move onward. Well, they've been doing that for 100,000 years longer than us. They probably discovered more. Our satellites are very good, but they don't really have a reason to scan the Himalayan mountains or, the North American, the great North American forest region. You get out to the western coast, those trees are absolutely dense. You get into the northern parts of Ontario and Quebec, yeah, there's just nothing but trees, and if you start running into it, you're not going to have a very good day. It's a good way to get lost and a good way for the Sasquatch to get you. We've already had, and I've documented this elsewhere, many species and sizable ones reappear. The coelacanth was believed to be extinct for millions of years, and now they found out there's one population off the coast of India and another population off the coast of Mexico. They're doing perfectly fine. The Tasmanian tiger has been cited by a few people. Pandas. Remember how they're endangered and they're the World Wildlife Fund's signature animal? Guess what? They're not endangered anymore. The Chinese government has done a great job bringing that animal back from near extinction. There's so many of them, they have enough genetic diversities, they've been taken off the endangered species list. So, when we're talking about Bigfoot, just because we only hear rumors and legends of it, there's two possibilities. It's an interdimensional phase magic using creature that somehow taps into the powers of the land and gets its or manages to skip dimensions when it's caught. Or it's really good at hiding. As an ex-military person, I can tell you hiding is a much more powerful skill than you can believe. Camouflage works, and it doesn't work the way that you think it does. I was pretty damn good at it. I'd get my face all painted up, for lack of better, and I'd pick a spot and I would hide. And I would often be able to sneak by, enemy troops and stuff just by staying still and waiting. Not saying it was Superman, I just knew how to keep quiet and keep my head down. I got caught by being stepped on 3 times. Yeah, my camouflage was so perfect, they were willing to walk right by me. I just picked the wrong spot to lie down. And I had that reputation. I was a bit of a ghost. Well, if I can do it, and I have skin that definitely stands out against the forest, and I'm just at that point I was just a skinny little nothing, tall, lanky. I had the hardest job to camouflage myself. So when you get a creature that's had lots of time to adapt to its circumstances, you're starting to get into a very dangerous animal. Look at caribou. Caribou, moose, whatever you want to call them. They could be standing right next to you and they're just not going to make much of a noise until their antlers hit a tree or something. You hear that crack. Now, moose are relatively common, and I would agree, Sasquatch are not an overabundant species. But I'm willing to wager to that little boy's question from so long ago, who, when people were actually hunting Sasquatch, he asked, but what if you killed the last one? Well, to be honest, little boy, the species was doomed at that point no matter what. It's not like they can magically breed with only themselves. That's not a mammal tendency. And also, you're probably taking such a small portion of their population. I know we had that story about the guy that was keeping one in his freezer, and oh my God, this thing is, he could have at least put some effort into it. This whole, things in the freezer, I'm going to have to address that someday, because the alien in the freezer, I don't know how people ever took that seriously, because it was like the worst alien ever. It was like made out of styrofoam, and I'm guessing he tried to burn through it so it wouldn't leave any cut marks. It just was horrible. The little bit you can see of the Sasquatch in the freezer, and it's a drawing, so I can't be too harsh on it. It's what a cartoonist would come up with if you told them they were going to get a high definition panel or something like that and they needed to show a Sasquatch in a freezer. Like, there's nothing unexpected in that at all. It's exactly what we hear in the literature of the time. Now, that doesn't mean that there's no examples. We just don't have much evidence. But I'm going to submit to you that there's enough unexplored places where this thing could go. And assuming they had, say, 70-80% human intelligence, and I would argue it's probably higher, but they would know where to avoid. And it's pretty simple. Humans make a lot of noise, a lot of smells. Okay, you're going in camping. What's the first thing you got to do? You got to get there. So it needs to be a road or some sort of way to get in there. Either a road or a trail. You drive on the road to get to the trail. Any creature with a lick of sense knows not to go near that highway. Because if you got to cross it and there's an 18-wheeler, your lifespan is now dramatically shorter. And then again, these things are smarter than moose or deer or anything like that. Secondly, the trail. Well, people leave a lot of things behind on trails. Bottles of water, wrappers full of food, and the unmistakable scent of humans. Now, we like to think we wash and stuff like that, but humans still do sweat. And that sweat lingers everywhere. What's a nice way to say this? You're nose blind to your own house, but if you can ever go to a friend's house and, maybe while using the bathroom you can smell their bedroom, there's a definite musk there, and it's a bit different from each person. And I only know this because, well, my sense of smell is rather strong because my eyes are rather weak. So you got a smelly trail, which again, if these creatures are half as intelligent as we are, and like I said, I think the figure is more in the 80% region, they know to stay away from it. Thirdly, what do you do when you get to your campsite, to your trail location, whatever it is? You start a fire. Now, while I don't think a Sasquatch or a Yeti would necessarily be afraid of fire, they would know what it can do, and it sends off an aroma that they know means danger. Again, intelligence. You have to remember you're dealing with a highly intelligent, near peer human intelligence here. And the most important thing, at least for the past couple hundred years, the Sasquatch and Yeti have had to deal with people with guns. Now, they don't know who has guns and who doesn't. They probably may not even understand the mechanism of them. We think it's simple point and click, but remember, if they're based on Neanderthals, they're more of a hand-to-hand opponent. They're more of a strike and thrust, whereas we have that projectile mentality baked into our DNA. And as I said, any intelligent species would have the same ability to recognize. On occasion, there's a loud bang, and, it hurts really bad. I better not mess with them. But the most incredible thing is they have found recordings of Sasquatch and Yeti talking. Now that's language skills. And even if you don't have advanced language skills like, here's how to do theoretical math or anything like that, you still have the ability to communicate. And that is phenomenal. Hey, these pasty white things that show up every summer so that way they can go bang at whatever we're trying to hunt. Watch out for them. It hurts. So we can't see them from orbit. Drones may make this more possible, but still there's so much area to search. It's difficult. Trail cameras, don't know whether their ability to perceive them is there or not. But something we have to consider, and it's not worth the effort to go hunting, but we might find them one day. With that, we hope you enjoyed this episode of the Silverlight Show. If you did, please like, share, because sharing is caring. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already. And don't forget to click the bell icon or whatever it is on your screen so that way you can stay informed of every time we open up another episode, which is usually every day about noon. And with that, we hope you have a fantastic day.